and salutations, mi amigos, mi compadres, and welcome to another edition of Colecast, the podcast for all of us. And on today's episode, today's going to be a very special episode, of course. On today's episode, first, my partner in crime, the love of my life, and the fairy and beautiful and talented
Sadsavignonbleh.
And also joining us today is a very close and good friend of mine, whom you'll be hearing a lot more of on Colecast. And that is the man, the myth, the legend, B-Roll.
How's everybody doing out there?
I think we're doing fine and dandy and sweet like candy. Okay, guys. So now allow me to paint you all a picture, okay? You've had a hard week, right?
Oh, so true.
Right? Been
Yes.
working the grind, being constantly judged and critiqued by your superiors.
Working for the man.
Yes, you busted your ass. Friday comes, you kick on back, and perhaps maybe you overindulged too much the night before, right? Been celebrating, but Saturday morning comes, and it's time to start the weekend. Am I right? And with that comes some Saturday morning cartoons.
Woohoo!
What were you thinking? I'm talking about being his kid, man. You know, you bust your ass in school. Mom and dad's on your ass about taking the trash, the garbage out. You're just doing it for the allowance. You had a rough night before because you had a hard decision to make at Blockbuster because you didn't know which game to get. You went with Battletoads, you played it, and then you got stuck on the fucking third level because of the fucking... Ah! Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Fuck that game. It's a great game, but anyways. Sorry. Bad memories. Calm down. Okay, we're gonna do this. Fucking speeder bikes, man. So anyways, today, and sorry for the doggos, you may hear them in the background, but for today's episode, we're gonna be talking about our youth and the exhilarating time of watching Saturday morning cartoons. So let's go! First of all, I gotta ask you guys, do you have any rituals? Like take me through what was a Saturday morning for you. Let's start with you first, Mr. B-Roll.
Well, so I was what you'd call a spoiled little brat, and get out of bed. Mom would have probably some Belgian waffles ready to go on the kitchen table,
You
and
smug bastard.
like to put my personal favorite on there. And I don't know how common this is for everybody, but peanut butter and syrup. I don't know how common that is.
That's fancy.
It is,
That's
and
fancy.
it's magically delicious. And if you were in for a real treat, you'd get a Amish peanut butter. So then you down your waffle, and then you run to the bathroom because it normally goes right through you.
Ah, the D, the ever-loving D. Okay.
And then you put your butt in front of the TV and catch some cartoons.
I can dig it. That was very nice. Touche to you, sir. Very nice. All right. Now, how... And you have one brother, just your brother, right?
I have one brother,
Yes.
older, 5 years old.
And was there a rivalry there? It's like who got what to watch, or you guys kind of watch the same thing, or what?
Well, so generally, we had more than one TV in our house. So generally, he had one TV and I had the other. And then we were good for the morning because, our parents were always out doing this, that, whatever, especially during the summer. So we each had our own TV, basically. But then when it came time for them to go to bed, that's when the fights over the TV began.
Oh, interesting. Now, I'm curious to know, how was it watching Saturday morning cartoons in a house of 4? Miss Savvy Savage.
Well, I have an older brother who's 2 years older than me, and I also have 2 younger sisters. One of them's 5 years younger, the other one's 6 years younger. And what I remember growing up, you get up in the morning, you do your morning stuff, you go down to the kitchen, get some cereal. Or maybe if we were lucky, Dad would make breakfast for us. Bacon and eggs, biscuits.
Damn.
But, that was when he was in the mood for it, because my dad, you never know. So we'd get our breakfast, and then we'd go sit down in front of the TV, and it was always a power struggle between my brother and I because he always wanted to watch his stuff, and I always wanted to watch mine. And
So are we talking like typical like boy girl cartoons, like or was it kind of a mixed breed or what?
I mean, like he's a boy, so boy stuff, superheroes, that type of stuff, and I just watched whatever, but my favorites were always Rugrats, Rocko's Modern Life, that type of stuff.
Which we'll get to that, folks.
And
So
my sisters, I mean, they were babies for the most part of they were always younger, so they get in the way, but there wasn't necessarily an issue with them. They just kind of go with whatever.
so it was just basically, kick them in the ass and move them into the next room or something.
Yeah, like, get the fuck out of the way.
Have them play a shitty tiger game, like the shitty $10 tiger game that sucked ever-loving dick, and like, here, you play this. This will be fun.
Or like, one sister would get in my seat and I'd tell them to move, and if they wouldn't listen, they'd be like, eh. So I'd just pick them up and toss them across the couch and sit in my seat.
Or you could just, take them out to pasture. Just throwing that out there. No, you couldn't do that. So, it's interesting. So that's very interesting perspective. So, let me tell you what a Saturday morning for me was like. Breakfast, just whatever cereal I wanted, man. But you know what? That's okay, because I was a cereal guy. I was a picky
Cereal killer.
Yes.
Favorite cereal. Go.
Oh man.
On the spot.
Man, you are putting me on a corner. Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. And Savvy Savage and I went rounds on this, trust me. But it as a kid, it came down pretty much to there was I'm going to say at least two. It was two. Fruit Loops, which I think is pretty basic.
Classic.
Okay, I'm gonna make it three. I'm gonna make it three. Fruit Loops. I'm gonna say Captain Crunch.
What kind?
Hey, you're reading my mind. I'm gonna go with Peanut Butter Crunch.
Yes.
Amen. I appreciate
But the other one, my wild card, if you will, is Cookie Crisp.
Sucks ever-loving dick.
Woman? Woman?
No, it doesn't.
No. Thank
Tastes
you.
like cardboard.
Who does not like
Your ass tastes like cardboard.
Who does not like
Just kidding.
miniature cookies and milk?
Yes. No. Cookie Crisp was life, man. Cookie Crisp. Oh, it was all the cookie chip, crispy goodness, yummy yums in the tummy tum.
Okay. While we're off topic, did you ever mix Cookie Crisp and Peanut Butter Captain Crunch?
Now he's going to do that.
Well,
Thanks.
challenge accepted. That's wow. My mind's blown.
You're welcome,
So-
America. You're welcome.
Yeah. So wow, that's gonna happen at some point. So, and trust me, we could talk hours about cereal, and I can tell you this: there will be an episode probably in the future just about cereal. But back to the topic at hand: Saturday morning cartoons. Okay. So, first of all, for the sake of this podcast, really, we're just going to talk about the eras we grew up in, which is going to be kind of a little divide. I was born in 84, so mine's going to be more like a mixture of 80s, 90s, so mid-80s, early 90s is going to be my most prominent. For Savvy Savage, you're probably talking, which 90s, yeah, early 90s, and then for you, Mr. B-Roll, we're talking what, mid-90s?
90s. I was born in 1990.
Man, he's a baby. He's a baby. But if you look at the landscape, so if you want to look up at the history of cartoons, essentially, if you break it down, so it really got started in the 60s. And you got to keep in mind, back then, all you had's really just network television. Cable television didn't even exist, of course. So you're talking ABC, NBC, and CBS. Now, if you look at the 60s, where it first started with, a lot of it was mostly like already, like, really what laid the groundwork, and a lot of people don't realize this, you guys may not know this, but the Flintstones. Yeah. Flintstones, because that was on primetime TV, Hanna-Barbera, back in the day. You had that, and then that got transferred over to like Saturday mornings, and you had the Flintstones. You had, they took all the Merry Melodies, or the Looney Tunes as we know it, and put them into like 30-minute episodes or whatever, And And they just took old like properties that already existed, like Tom and Jerry and other Hanna-Barbera like cartoons and stuff,
The class.
The classics, yeah, essentially. And then they speckled in like some shitty animation with like and I'm being shitty, and I'm talking about, and God love them, the old Marvel cartoons. Now the 60s Marvels, like we're talking Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. We're talking that. We're talking like Thor, Captain America, all that, which was, it was what it was. So, yeah, anyways, fast forward a little bit. We get into the 70s, and pretty much like kind of the same thing, but you start to see a trend of where like TV shows get their own cartoons, which is crazy because you've got shit like the Brady Bunch. Yes, there is a Brady Bunch cartoon. Look it up. Star Trek, Gilligan's Island had a yeah. I'm serious. Gilligan's Island
had a cartoon.
Gilligan's Island had a cartoon.
Did they get off the island in the cartoon though?
Shit, I don't know. That's a good question, man. If they did, though, what you know what though? Because here's the thing: you watch those cartoons, and yes, to answer your question, Mr. B-roll, they probably did, and they got into some wacky, crazy adventure where they ended up in fucking outer space and had to say Gilligan's pet monkey, Susu.
And they met the Jetsons.
And they met. Oh shit! No, we ain't talk crossover. The crossover didn't really happen until the '80s. When we talking Jetsons and Flintstones, but I digress. So yeah, just random shit like Happy Days, Dukes of Hazzard. I mean, shit. Any Mork and Mindy. Mork and Mindy had a freaking Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah. So if you were popular in primetime TV, you got a damn Saturday morning cartoon. Now, our era or my era, where this all begins, the '80s. So at this point, you have something. Oh, you look very inquisitive there, like you were ready to hop on in there. So. Okay, so at this point, we're the 80s. So 80s is pretty much, we're talking the arrival of consumerism, right? Marketing. So we're talking, it's being force-fed down your throats. Like Ronald Reagan kind of like eased up on rules and regulations. The FCC loosens up. It's a loose interpretation of things, if you will. And I understand. I'm leaving some things out, but we got a lot of ground to cover. But if you really want to know more about this, you could always... Wikipedia that shit. That's right. You could Wikipedia that shit. So, anyways, yeah. So the '80s. So the arrival of consumerism. Now it's like every show that's being made is like it's not just being made to entertain kids. It's being made so you can, sell toys. You got Masters of the Universe, Transformers, My Little Pony, Strawberry Shortcake. I mean, shit. Thundercats. You name one of my favorites, Silverhawks. Jim, yes. Like, all of that is designed specifically to sell toys and get you to watch in there in the mornings, right? And then if you was to go back, and trust me, there is a million YouTube videos you can watch on this, to where you can go back and you can watch retro commercials, which Savage and I do that all the time. Hell, we were doing it this morning just to prepare for this podcast today.
It's relaxing.
Yes, it is. To go back in time. But anyways, so if you look at the commercials predominantly in between, it's like pretty much toy, cereal, Happy Meal, toy, cereal, back to the show. I mean, that's pretty much, and trailers for movies, like kids' movies, of course. Or maybe the latest Disney classic on VHS. What the fuck was that? The collection, the Diamond series, right? The Diamond series. Yeah. Yes. Get that clamshell case, son. So, anyways, that was the 80s, all right? So, 80s into the 90s. And as much as I love being a child of the 80s, the 90s was where it's at. That's right. That's where all three of us can relate.
Everything good comes from the 90s.
No argument here. But that's when it's in its prime, man. And I can tell you what really helped put it on the block is Fox Kids Block. So Fox Cartoons, they didn't start a Saturday morning lineup till 1990. And we're going to get into like what all they covered and stuff. But man, buddy, oh buddy, Fox was where it was at. I mean, and as the 90s progressed on, you had a lot of good other shows come on there. And like I say, we're going to get into that. But anyways, yes. So the 90s, Fox pops up, and it's awesome, right? Then you've got where you start gotten lobbyist groups like Actions for Children's TVs and Mom hasn't been laid in 5 years, so I'm gonna bitch about a kid's cartoon and all this other bullshit who just fucks it up and ruins it for everybody. And they start regulating shit. So they come out, like the FCC comes out with this rule, like it's called the Kid Fib rule, right? And it didn't really start going into effect, I think, around 96 or something. I don't know. Something like that. You can Wikipedia that shit. But pretty much what it said is, like, the content of the cartoons that you had on, more or less, like, you have to have X amount of hours contributed towards, like, educating children. So that's where you saw, like, part of my French, but pussy-ass shit, like the Magic School Bus. Anybody want to argue?
I like the Magic School Bus.
I think the Magic School Bus is near and dear to all of our hearts because we would watch that in school, and it was a break
Exactly.
from having
You hit the nail.
That's why you like it.
You hit the nail on the head, though, my friend. We watched it in school, and I was one that, as a kid, like, fuck the man, fuck what they're feeding me. I don't want no damn Magic School Bus, man. I want some Batman kicking Joker's ass, you know? I want Wolverine slicing through Sabretooth's scrotum, you know? That's the type of shit I want to see. But no, Magic School Bus. And then let's talk about the PBS shit. Did y'all watch PBS?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man. See, I'm sorry, but
You're
fuck
old.
PBS. Hey, I watched PBS, and you married my old ass, so suck it. But no, seriously, like, what the fuck? Like, the damn aardvark. What the fuck was
Arthur.
it? Arthur was a son of a bitch. Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. Arthur probably grew up to be a serial killer. I mean, you see what he was wearing? I mean, look at that son of a bitch. Don't tell me he's not screaming that he hits 18, man. He's slicing up bodies. He's killing that little rabbit bitch, the little tortoise son of a bitch, all those. I'm telling you. It's going down. It's down like a clown, Charlie Brown.
No wonder that joke. I can't tell.
After 25 years.
Was it really on that long?
Yes.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. How in the fuck is Arthur on for 25 years and fucking X-Men only had 6 seasons? Like, explain that to me. Huh? Like, what the fuck? I don't get it, man. So anyways. So yeah, you have start to where more educational material for children. And also with that too, you got the rise of cable. So, cable started getting into doing Saturday morning cartoons. And like the one I remember, and I don't think either of you remember, but the one I remember and hold close and dear and near to me, the USA Cartoon Express. You guys remember that?
Nope. You old.
Yeah. I am old. But, yeah, USA Cartoon Express, man. That's where it was at. I'm telling you. And what they did was they took, like, stuff that was already aired and stuff off syndication and aired it. So it was like a mixed bag. It was like anything from Real Ghostbusters to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to... shit, I'm drawing a blank, man. But there were some other cartoons. Oh, G.I. Joe, I think, was on there. Some Hanna-Barbera ones was on there, like Hong Kong Phooey and stuff like that, which, okay, yeah, now I know I'm really showing my fucking age. But anyways, suck it. And then I can remember, and then, of course, Nickelodeon, which, trust me, that's going to be another podcast into itself, because, I mean, it's freaking Nickelodeon, man.
Nickelodeon.
But, I mean, Nickelodeon come in, that really changed the game, and that had, like, that had cartoons on all the time. But if you looked at the stuff on Saturday mornings, at least what I recall, was, like, reruns of old stuff like Rocky and Bullwinkle and Looney Tunes and shit like that. Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo. Oh, Magoo, you smug bastard. You've done it again. So anyways, yeah, so you had that, and Disney, if you was rich enough to afford Disney. Because let me tell you something, and I'm gonna get off topic here for just a brief moment, but let me tell you something that was the best damn thing in my life. You remember when Disney Channel would come on with a free preview? Now, you may not remember Mr. B-Roll, because at that point, I think it was like in regular cable packages.
Yeah,
and plus, shit, if you were getting peanut butter smeared all over your damn waffles, man, you was rich as fuck as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry, but no. So like, okay, so this in my day, Disney Channel would come on with a free preview for the week, and my mom would go to the store and buy a shit ton of VHS tapes, pop those bad boys in, and record all the specials and stuff, just so I had them as a kid. I could rewatch them.
That's dedication right there.
Damn right it
That's
is.
pirating.
Yes. No. You're wrong.
It's okay. Because it wasn't regulated back then.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's what it was.
There's a lot of shit you could get by with. So, yeah. Thank God. Shit, man. Y'all was funny. So yeah. So cable comes along, really changes the game. You got the FCC that's being dicks about things, and at this point, the big three or the big four now, 92. You start to see NBC says, fuck it, we're not doing it anymore. And they went into a format of just pretty much the Today Show, the Today fucking show on Saturday mornings. So imagine being a kid, you're turning in and you're wanting to watch some Camp Candy, which I know you're looking at me like, what the fuck's that? Oh, I'll explain. But you tune in and you got fucking Al Roker. Like, what the hell? What's this shit?
Who the fuck wants to see Al Roker?
Yeah, you see this son of a bitch 5 days a week. I don't need him for another day. This is horse shit.
Tell me what the weather is, asshole, and get out of the way.
Yeah. It's like, as a kid, you're just like, you're flicking your cereal at the screen. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And then your mom's like, give me crap fucking dinosaur! Sorry, Mom. Anyways, so yeah. Okay. So anyways, the point being, a combination of things. It pretty much kind of kills the Saturday morning cartoon. NBC says, fuck it, we're doing Today's Show. Now, what they did do around, like, and I think this came on around 10, they did reruns of Saved by the Bell. They also, now let me ask you guys this. Do any of you remember, like, the teenage shows? The live action teenage shows? Kind of like Saved by the Bell. I mean, Saved by the Bell is by far, like, the superior. It was the alpha. It's the omega. Does anybody remember? I'm going to get into some random shit. California Dreamin'?
Nope.
Okay. What about Hang Time?
Nope.
City Guys?
Nope.
CITY. You can't see why y'all don't know what the fuck the show is. No. City. Oh, man. Okay, so essentially, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis because we still got a lot of ground to cover here. But California Dreamin' was pretty much essentially these teenagers out in California who get in all sorts of bullshit and mischief, and they drive around their little Jeeps on the sand, and they probably, like, fuck without condoms and stuff, and, you know, have babies on the side or something. I don't know. That's a terrible description, by the way. Don't listen to me. You should just look that shit up. But I can tell you it was on NBC. Now, Hang Time was a cool show. Hang Time was like about a high school basketball team. Now, the original coach, if I remember correctly, was Reggie Thesis. I know I fucked his name up, but great basketball player from the 80s.
Look it up on Wikipedia.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because remember, if any of this shit's in doubt, Wikipedia that shit. That's right. So, and then the coach changed to the man, Dick Butkus, which made no fucking sense that a basketball team's coached by a football player, but whatever, you know. But that was Hang Time. And then City Guys was about these dudes who pretty much lived in the city. That's all you need to know. So, but the point being is, like, when that shit would come on, that's how you knew it was like, oh fuck, okay, the cartoons are done and over with. Well, shit. So anyways, so we're talking like late 90s, and you can relate to this, because now let me ask you, B-Roll, did you watch, because kind of towards the end, it's like ABC's out, or no, I'm sorry, CBS is out, NBC's out. ABC sticks around to 2004, but that's mainly because Disney owned them. And I'm assuming you probably did a lot of, what, ABC, did you do Kids WB and all that?
Oh, yeah, Kids WB. When we get to our list, you will see a bunch from Kids WB, at least what I do believe.
Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of was like towards the end, and then just the sad death. So it's a damn shame that kids won't get to experience that. I hope and pray that it comes back in some format. But I mean, with streaming and every other way of getting content, it's non-existent. It's dead.
In many ways, Netflix has ruined the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
And I love Netflix. But...
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. So I mean, that kind of gives you the history, a layout, if you will, of Saturday morning cartoons. And I'm sure we missed a lot of shit, but hey, this is our show. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now, I'm sorry for the clap, but I'm excited because now let's talk about the lineups. All right. So let's talk about like what each network pretty much had. Okay. So I'm gonna break it down for y'all. We're going big four on this one, right? Now I did not include Kids WB on this because at that point I wasn't really watching them, so there may be some shit in here you remember. I tell you what, man. When I say Kids WB, you know what the first show that pops in my head?
What?
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Animaniacs. Well, see, Animaniacs started on Fox. Yeah.
I thought that was the WB.
No, that was, well, I mean, it's a Warner Brothers, but it actually was on Fox. Yeah. No, Freakazoid. Do y'all remember Freakazoid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Freakazoid, pedophile. Freakazoid's a pedophile. I hope not, but your childhood's ruined. You're welcome. Okay, so anyways, you have something?
Nope.
Oh, good. I thought you were in shock over there. Like, do you even remember Freakazoid?
No, not
Okay.
really.
Damn. All right, man.
I'm a puppy.
Yes.
1990.
This is true. Yeah, but you would have been probably 7 or 8-ish. Still nothing, huh? Okay.
Still nothing.
All right, fair enough.
I'll have to look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, because remember, when in doubt, you can Wikipedia that shit. I've already used that way more times than I thought I would. But anyways, okay. So, let's break it down by the network, Sally, okay? And for the purpose of this, we're going to talk about the timelines we were pretty much in live. So we're going to go from 84 pretty much up until like late into 90s, right? So, all right. So on ABC, this is the type of shows you have, right? And I'm going to say some of this stuff and you're going to be like, what the fuck? That had a show? Especially you, I know, Mr. B-Roll. Wifey, maybe not so much. Some of it's going to surprise you. So anyways, B-Roll, did you know Pac-Man had a cartoon?
I did not.
Pac-Man had a cartoon. So over on ABC, you got Pac-Man. You got a show called The Littles, which is about these little fuckers that are like maybe 6 inches tall or something, running around, pretty much, getting into all sorts of mischief and bullshit. Super Friends. I know you remember Super Friends. Oh, bro. And you call yourself a comic book nerd fan. Super Friends. Like Justice League, dude. Superman, Batman, Aquaman, Robin, Wonder Woman.
I was never a big DC guy. Well, Batman.
All right. Did you know there were Star Wars cartoons on in the 80s? And we're talking the Ewoks, and we're talking a show called Droids, which guess what? It wasn't about Android phones. No, it was about droids, like C-3PO and shit.
They now currently have those shows on Disney Plus.
Ah.
And no, we are not sponsored by them.
Yes. Disclaimer. Sponsor us, son!
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Okay, so yeah, you had that. Scooby-Doo was on there. Now, I'm going to drop this on you, man. I want you to listen. This, I was, in my research, because I did do some research. I mean, come on. I remember, a lot of this shit's up here, but I'm getting older. I can't remember it all verbatim, right? But 1987. And I think this is...
Very special year.
Yes, why is that, wifey?
The year I was born.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeedy. So, 87, and I think this is the fall lineup. Because, see, this is what they did back in the day. They had a spring lineup and a fall lineup.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember
And shit. And I tell you what, let me tell you something about the struggle of being a kid, right? With this, it was no more fucking infuriating when you had a show that was on at a certain time slot, and guess what? Fall comes around, you go to tune in at that time slot, and it's something completely fucking different. And then you have to, like, go through the TV guide, which, kids, there was physical TV guides out there that you looked in, and you couldn't just look it up and Google that shit, and find out your damn cartoon got moved to, like, the 10 o'clock time slot or something, It was like, it was some bullshit. But at the same time, too, what did it do, though? The kids that turned into that show, now they're hooked on this show, or they like this show. So, yeah, marketing. So it's smart, but as a kid, it was a struggle. The struggle was real, damn it. So, anyways, 1987 fall ABC lineup. The Wuzzles. Oh, fuck. You're looking at me like, what the hell is that?
Keep in mind, I wasn't born yet.
Oh,
So
that's true.
Wuzzle.
Wouldn't you like to know? No, so the Wuzzles was these like little bear fuckers, I think.
And didn't they do like music or something?
They did. See, you know. But it was I'm pretty sure it was a Disney property, but they were kind of like Care Bears after Care Bears, you know. So they were kind of a ripoff, but still, it was these little furry fucks that would go around and get in all sorts of misadventures, and you had like a furry elephant, a furry bear, and like a furry bird and all this other shit. You know.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, because it's like it's a lot of ground to cover, man. I can't remember it all, but anyways, the Wuzzles was a cool show. Look that shit up. And the funny thing is, what came on right after the Wuzzles? The Care Bears. So it's like, here's the bullshit, here's the good shit. So you have the Wuzzles, Care Bears, Flintstone Kids.
Yeah.
I know you remember that.
I remember.
Oh yeah, Flintstone Kids. And then you also had Real Ghostbusters, which, by the way, Mr. B-Roll, are you ready for the bullshit fact of the day?
Yes, I am, good sir.
Okay. Do you want to know why the show was called The Real Ghostbusters?
Why was that?
Well, first of all, do you remember there being a Ghostbusters cartoon?
I'll be honest.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I do
Yes,
not.
No fucking idea.
But keep in mind, we're in 1987, and I'm still not born yet.
No excuses. Okay, so this is why. So the reason they called it Real Ghostbusters, and yes, it was based off the film of the Ghostbusters with
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd.
Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy.
Did you say Eddie Murphy?
Bro. Eddie
Bro.
Murphy wasn't in that.
Fuck.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh. Now here's the thing, though.
I'm going to go, guys.
Here's the thing, though. Eddie Murphy was originally intended to be in the cast, but he was, I think, if memory serves me correctly, he was doing another flick or something. Anyways, he had previous obligations and could not make it. So, you get a pass for that. But, no. But anyways, so, yes, this cartoon was based off of that. But why did they call it The Real Ghostbusters? Believe it or not, there was a live-action show in the 70s, and probably was on Saturday mornings, I can't recall. It was called The Ghostbusters, right? And here's the thing. So, and the studio that owned it and had the rights to it was called Filmation. And Filmation you may be familiar with because they put out such classics as Masters of the Universe, Brave Star, She-Ra, all that jazz, all right? So Filmation had the rights to this, so in the 70s, this is the premise that they were going around chasing ghosts, right? But it was only 3 members of the crew. You had like 2 human dudes, and get this, a giant life-size gorilla. That's right, a gorilla. We're the original 3 Ghostbusters, okay? Or go ahead and say it, gorilla bastard.
Gorilla bastard.
That's my girl. So, you go from that to when the show comes out here, and they call it The Real Ghostbusters. Well, Filmation still had the rights to Ghostbusters, right? So guess what they did? They made an animated cartoon based off the show they made in the 70s. So as a kid, it got real fucking confusing if you wasn't really paying attention. But we all knew which Ghostbusters we wanted to see.
We all knew what was going down.
Yeah. We all knew who we need to call. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that is your bullshit fact of the day. All right. So anyways, 87. So we got Real Ghostbusters. Pound Puppies had a cartoon. I know that's fond and dear to you, right, Puff?
Sure.
Yeah. Bugs Bunny and Tweety. And I believe that was all that was in that lineup. Yeah. So, 87, that was a good year.
Fuck yeah, it was.
And then later on, you got... Now, here's a funny thing. Disney properties were jumping all around town like a fucking whore in Vegas. So they was on all the networks pretty much. So you had where Disney, I believe they start off on ABC because I believe NBC really, but for this, as far as ABC, we're talking Winnie the Pooh, the Gummy Bears. Y'all remember Gummy Bears, right?
Gummy bears bouncing
Unfortunately.
here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, sing it. So you had that, and then and now we're getting later into the '90s and stuff, and we're talking like Beetlejuice. Yes. Land of the Lost, Pirates of Dark Water, one of my favorites, Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa, and Brent's looking at me like, what is this you're talking about? Oh, I'll explain, sir. Addams Family, Sonic the Hedgehog, Bump in the Night, Reboot, and then towards the end, you got pretty much Disney taking over. So, yeah.
And I can tell we're getting closer to the time where I was alive because some of those things you
You
mentioned
remember.
are on my list.
Yes. So let's talk about CBS real quick. What do they have? They have Muppet Babies, Bernstein Bears, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Popeye and Son, New Adventures of Mighty Mouse, Story Break, Adventures of Raggedy Ann and Andy, Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling Brother, Dennis the Menace, Garfield and Friends, Hey Fern, It's Ernest, Dink the Little Dinosaur, California Raisins, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Turtles in a Half Show.
Turtle Power, Marsupilami, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Skeleton Warriors, Aladdin, Felix the Cat, Biker Mice from Mars, just to name a few. And then NBC, you had Smurfs, eat my cock, suck on my ass. Man, we're talking about a lot. I'm talking about a lot of shit and ass. I'm sorry, folks. I just get on a tangent. Spider-Man and his amazing friends, The Incredible Hulk, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Mr. T. We're talking 80s here, my friends. Snorks. You remember Snorks? You ever hear Snorks?
Oh, I feel like I should.
Yeah, you should, man. You remember Snorks?
Yeah.
Okay. Fraggle Rock.
Down Fraggle Rock.
Now, Fraggle Rock, keep in mind, yes, there was the Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock, like with the puppets, but there actually was an animated cartoon, too, as well. So, you have Fat Albert, Captain N and the Game Master. What the hell is that? I'll tell you what that is, my friend. Captain N and the Game Master was pretty much a cartoon based off of this dude playing Nintendo, and he goes into all these different worlds, like worlds like Legends of Zelda and shit like that.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, it's a great. Look it up, man. Look it up on YouTube.
Why am I just finding out about this?
Oh, I don't know, bro. Saved by the Bell, Super Mario Brothers Hours, and of course, the Piece de Resistance Box Kids Block. I mean, listen to this lineup, okay? We're talking Bobby's World, Tom and Jerry Kids, Tasmania, down in Tasmania, Batman the Animated Series, Eek the Cat, Super Dave, X-Men, Tiny Toons, Dog City, Where is Carmen Sandiego? It's time for Animaniacs. Fuck you. The Tick, Spider-Man, Power Rangers. Man, listen to this lineup, spring of '95. All right, this is gonna be up your alley, Mr. B-Roll.
Oh, I believe so.
All right, so we're talking Animaniacs. Go Power Vacuum Rangers, do. That's an inside joke. Power Rangers, Eek the Cat, Batman and Robin, Spider-Man, The Tick, X-Men. Where is Carmen Sandiego? Mike, drop. Okay, I don't know how that come out, but yeah, what an epic lineup, right?
Legend. Hope you're not lactose intolerant. Dairy.
I like it. So, if you break it down really here, like if you look in the there's different genres of these cartoons, right? Or different categories, if you will, okay? So, you got like, and just pretty much anybody could have a damn cartoon in this time frame, which is beautiful. So, pop culture heroes, right? You've got all sorts of different characters from pop culture. Like we mentioned, obviously it started first and foremost with Bill Cosby. Which we're not going to poke that bear. But, it started with Fat Albert. Mr. T had a show back in the day. I think it was Mr. T and the T-Force or something, running around saving the day. Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling, I mentioned that. Did y'all know New Kids on the Block had a cartoon?
No, but I believe it.
Oh, yeah. NKOTB, baby. Brent, this is one you're going to really like. You ever heard of a show called Pro Stars?
Pro Stars, you say?
Pro Stars was awesome, okay? Here's the premise. It was pretty much Bo Jackson, and this is in animated form. Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Wayne Gretzky all teaming up to save the day. And like they all like their gimmicks or whatever. It was like Bo Jackson had a baseball bat with like a ball that like did all sorts of weird Inspector Gadget shit, you know. And you had like Jordan's basketball did the same thing, and so did Wayne Gretzky's hockey stick. So yes, pro stars.
That is what you'd call amazeballs.
Yeah, no kidding. Wish Kid. So you're like, what was Wish Kid? Well, Wish Kid was actually based off of Macaulay Culkin. Got it, Macaulay Culkin? I mean, Home Alone, the 90s, man. He was all over the place.
Golden boy.
He is the golden boy. He had his own show. So Wish Kid, the premise was essentially he could do whatever the fuck he wants if he wished it into existence, you know? He pretty much could Thanos shit without the Infinity Gauntlet. Very interesting. Did y'all know Kid and Play had a cartoon? Yeah. Did y'all know MC Hammer had a cartoon?
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. MC Hammer had a cartoon. And damn it, I am trying to remember what the name of it was. It was something Hammer Time or
Hammer
something.
Time?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, right? Yeah. Oh no! I remember. I recall. It was shit. Hammerman. Okay, and here's the weird thing about this, right? Like how is MC Hammer like saving the day, right? How is he going to come in? What's he going to do, right?
Pants, right?
Close. It's his shoes. So his shoes. He's got magic shoes.
It's got to be the shoes.
And they put on this magical. They do this magical, like they leave musical notes behind, and they catch all the crooks and all this other crazy shit, you know. And it's just it's one thing after another.
Hammerman, hammer. Whenever
this is the
there's
theme
a
song,
crime,
by the
some
way.
crooks are gonna do time. They all better beware, cause the Hammerman will be there. Here's how it started a long time ago. The legend of the hammer and how it began to
grow. Break
he
it
was
down.
given magical shoes from a hip.
So yes, it did exist. And there's your proof, my friend. So Hammerman. All right, then you had cartoons based on movies, right? Okay, so we had The Karate Kid had a cartoon. Do you all remember Back to the Future had a cartoon? Yeah, Back to the Future had a cartoon. Teen Wolf had a cartoon. Remember Fievel from American Tail? He had his own cartoon. Of course, we mentioned Ghostbusters, Beetlejuice. We mentioned that earlier. And there are some real obscure ones there too. And I'm gonna name drop a movie that you guys probably don't even know what the fuck. Well, you will know, Savage, because you're married to me. But Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That's right. Number one, yes, that is a movie, Mr. Brent, and it was made into a cartoon. Like, and and it was just Killer Tomatoes.
I remember.
Oh yeah, and that was on Fox because Fox was awesome. But yeah, there was Attack of the Killer freaking Tomatoes. You know, I mean, it just absurdity.
Was basically the premise of eat your vegetables, kids, or the tomatoes will attack you.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. For it. It's my jam, son.
You guys can work out.
Oh man, that's great. Wizard of Oz had a cartoon. Beethoven. Did you know Beethoven? Beethoven, yeah, the dog had a cartoon. Yeah. The Mask had a cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
Men in Black.
Stop,
Yes, sir. Men in Black had a cartoon. Ace Ventura had a cartoon.
Yeah, I remember.
And
I remember these.
here's a real obscure one for you. Free Willy. Free Willy had a
I feel like
cartoon.
I've seen it, but I don't remember a lot. Of
You
it.
ain't missing much. It sucked ass. So, all right. So, and there's some more we missed, but then you've got entertainers and comedians who have their own shows, and this is going to blow your mind on some of these. I mentioned earlier Camp Candy. What the hell was Camp Candy? What's that about? Kids go to eat candy at a camp? No, my friends. Camp Candy was starring Mr. the late, great John Candy. That's right. John Candy had his own cartoon back in the day, and it was all about his camp, and he'd have kids, and he would teach them life lessons, and they would do marshmallows right here.
He bites, the bee bites, the bark of the tree bites, the quietness of darkness,
Yes,
the stories told by firelight, the long nights, the food fights, a summer made of memories at Camp Candy.
So yeah, that was Camp Candy. So yeah, you pretty much brings kids in, they cook some marshmallows and shit, gives them diabetes. You're welcome. Bobby's World. Now,
remember
Bobby's World was actually really to us kids, other than if you look at Little Monsters back in the day, was our first introduction to Howie Mandel. That was Howie Mandel's show. That was like his, and that was the cool thing too. Like comedians, stand-up comedians back in the day, like would get a cartoon like that, and they could do pretty much whatever they wanted with it, and it was like based off his life. Same for Louis Anderson had Life with Louie.
I love Life with Louie.
Can't really do the voice, but the dad, you know. Oh yeah. Misadventures of Ed Grimley. You're like, what the fuck's that? Ed Grimley was a character on Saturday Night Live, played by Martin Short. That's got his own cartoon. If you see any pictures or images from the 80s, if the hair's spiked up in the middle there, that's Ed Grimley. Okay. Rick Moranis had a cartoon. I think it was like Gravedale or something like that. But anyways, you get the idea. You had comic book ones, of course, Batman, X-Men, Spider-Man. And then you had some obscure titles, like Wildcats, based off of Image Comics. You had The Tick. And then, of course, you had your live-action shows.
Pee-wee.
Huh?
Pee-wee.
Pee-wee. Oh, yeah. Pee-wee's Playhouse, Hey Fern, It's Ernest. Beekman's World, one of my all-time favorites, because it was about, like, this dude, in which you guys don't remember, I'm sure. But Beekman's World was like all about like this dude doing all these crazy scientific things in his lab, and there's kind of a little bit of like Mystery Science Theater 3000 mixed in with like Mr. Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool. Power Rangers, of course.
Yeah.
And then you had like what they did was they remixed a lot of oldies. Like they put a 90s spin on it. You know, you had like Tom and Jerry was Tom and Jerry Kids. You had Flintstone Kids, a pup named Scooby-Doo. Popeye and Son, one of my all-time favorite titles, Yo Yogi, because, you know, rap was popular in the 90s. The white people just finally discovered it, whatever. Felix the Cat, you know, you get the idea. And then, of course, we would be reminiscent not to talk about superhuman mutated animal teams. And, of course, this all started with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? But there was also some other ones that come along like that ripped them off. And in actuality, they weren't that bad. And I'm talking about Street Sharks. That's right. Exactly what it sounds like.
I remember playing with those toys more.
The puppets.
Yeah.
Puppets.
More than actually watching that show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You had the Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, okay, not so much. Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa was my jam, okay? And it was a really weird thing. So, yes, so it was pretty much cows that were cowboys. All right, makes sense. And they fought out the evil cows. But here's where it got really fucked up, right? There was, like, other, like, cows, like, in the pasture, like a regular moo cow. So what the fuck was the difference between, like, the cowboys and those cows? This was very confusing things as a child, wondering these things. Like, it just made no fucking sense. But Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa was an incredible show. Actually had a really great video game made on it, too, from Konami. Okay? So, but let me give you a little snippet, if you will, that Wild West.
Comet breeze, the mesa to the western skies with the sound of 1,000 cattle drives.
Yeah!
Would see the light and fight the wrong.
Sing it with me if you know. On Moo Mesa! And the real cowboys, I just fucked it up, and I still have fond memories of this song. On Moo Mesa!
They're the real cowboys, standing up for law and order and living by the code of the West.
That was my jam, dude. It's my jam. All right. So, yeah, I'm sorry I'm boring you with my trip down memory lane.
Well, let me just say, this is the beautiful part about this, because there's ones that are fond to you that aren't fond to me, but I'm sure I have ones that are fond to me that
That's
aren't
true.
fond to you.
This is true.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a true thing. So yeah, you get the idea. So that's the layout. That's the lay of the land. That's the different genres. I mean, there's so many more we can cover.
Whoa. Wait up, kiddos. We gotta pump the brakes there, because our episode here on Saturday Morning Cartoons has just went a little bit longer than anticipated. So here's what we're gonna do. You have just listened to episode 1. That's right. We're gonna split it up into 2 episodes because we're just having too much fun. So on our next episode, we're going to go in a little bit more detail about some of our favorite cartoons of all time, in a little something we like to call That Makes a Baker's Dozen. Now, what could a baker's dozen be? I don't know. You just got to tune in to find out. So until next time, I'm Jeremy, a.k.a. xljtheog. Make sure you got your cereal bowls ready and your cereal picked out, and we'll see you and finish up our conversation on Saturday Morning Cartoons, another episode of Gold. See you next time.